Yeah, Potraju, we have shared you the PPT, right?
Yeah.
Open the PPT. We'll ask you certain questions as user point of view. You please go
Okay.
through the PPT and start explaining one by one. Over to you, Potraju.
Thank you, Rahul. Now I share the my screen right now. Hello. They come to the substitution variable. Substitution variable is a, like a global placeholder. If you for information changes at once, it reflected regularly. For example, if you create the set the substitution variable for current month, then you can change this substitution variables used to create the data forms or runtime prompts or business rules. Then automatically change once you can change the substitution variable, it will affect all the artifacts. Now in this substitution variables, what how can be using the business process. Now we have talking about data forms and RTP and business rules and smart view. And come to the next slide. I have in the next slide we have creating the variables. How to create the substitution variable? Can you show me how to create the substitution variable for following use cases? First case one is considering a year trunks consolidation monthly. In this substitution variable, creating for monthly, and second use case is considering a user consolidation for yearly. How to create the substitution variable for monthly and yearly? Now I'll show you navigation path for creating the substitution variable. And now I am go to the application. In the application, you have a option called under the tools and clusters. You have a variables card. In the variable, you have options called two types. One is a user variables and a substitution variable. Now I talking about the substitution variable. In a substitution variable, there are depending on your business process, you can select the cubes type. In this by default comes with the all cube. If you want, you can create the substitution variable for consolation. You can select the set the cube type is a console. Now show me how to create the substitution variables in business process. In the top right, you have option called the new. If you enter the new, and then you have enter the you have select the alt cube. If you select the alt cube, you can using for substitution variable for global level. The main purpose of substitution variable you create is a global level placeholder. So I have select now in this I have select the alt cubes per cube name, and then have a provide the name of the what are the name of the substitution variable, and I have provide the name for a underscore test, and I have a provide the value is by as per our presentation in this use case one. I have select the substitution variable for a June. Now I have select the substitution variables for monthly period is June. I enter the value is June and click on save. So record saved successfully. After the come to the presentation, in this presentation use case two. How to create the substitution for yearly for running the consolidation. In this use case two, you have take the substitution variable for FI20. Now show you the how to create the substitution variable for yearly consolidation, and go to application. In the substitution variable, you have option called add. In this ad you have select the type like console or rate cube or alt. If you select the alt cube, you can using for substitution variable globally level. Now I have select the creating the substitution variable here. So I have a alt cube type. So I have entered the name for what are the name for here. I have entered a underscore here, and then provide the as per use case to have select the FI20 is a substitution variable for a year dimension, and then click on save. This test one. In this way, you can specify creating the substitution variables for year and monthly. After that, record as saved. Come to the presentation. In the presentation, we have done the monthly how to create the monthly for substitution variable and how to create the substitution variable for yearly. And go to the next slide. In this next slide, we have how to using for substitution variables in data form. How to data forms are using for a substitution variable. First use case one use account dimension is row and use substitution variable of year and period dimension is column and choose the generation to members of every other dimension and preview the data in use case. In the use case one, I have create the simple form. In this row dimension, we have select the dimension name is account and second column dimension is a year and period dimension. In this and the remaining of the dimension members, we have select the generation member. Generation members are defined by the parent and child combination and generations are taken by the calculated by top to bottom and come to the use case 2. In this use case 2, hard code the year and a period dimension in another column. Same using for a use case 1. What are the use case 1? You have created the form simple form. Then you can using the same form. You can add in one more column in the simple form. In this you have select the year and the period dimension. Hard code. Hard code means you can select the members in manually in the substitution variable and preview the data form by changing the substitution variable of June to July. In this substitution variable, I can change the substitution variable for June to July. After that, explain how to dynamically use the substitution variable while designing the forms and its purpose. And then just create the period dimension in column next to substitution variable column by pick up the June, which is need explain the talking about selection of data member of period dimension June or July for that and come to the application to show the how to creating the data forms in application and go to the application in this application and come to the navigator in the create and manage you have option called a forms. In this forms I have created the simple form. I have already created a substitution variable in data form. I can edit and explain each one. In the properties tab, we have provide the name of the form and we have optional for providing the description. And then layout tab. In this layout tab, we have selecting the point of view and rows and columns as per our presentation cases. Now we have as per our use case one, account dimension is row and come to the application. In this, I have select the account ID send and come to the presentation. In this use case the substitution variable year and dimension periods in column. Then come to the application. In this application, I have select the what are the substitution variables created, and then click on edit. In this way, you can select the substitution variable for in data forms. In the members, you have selected this is a hardcode members. If you want any substitution variable created, so in this come to the variables under the substitution variables, whatever you have select created earlier, just you can select and come to drag into the right side and click on OK. And this way, or else you have created the a underscore month is the period dimension. If you add the year type of substitution variable, the form does not display. The form displays on define the form does not display. Now I show the how to what are the error is display. Now I have changed the substitution variable for current year dimension. I have assigned the but this dimension name is period dimension. This way, what can be happen in the preview tab? You can show me. I can change the month period. And after that, you have go to the preview. In this preview, the form does not display. So basically, these substitution variables are depending on your year basic or period basic. You can create it. Now I have cancelled this. The form does not changes. Likewise, this way you can enter the assign the substitution variables in dimension members. After that, you have click on data. You go to the data card. In this data card, you have enter the data in you have numerical data. You can enter the numerical data. So you have select the substitution variable in data forms. I have changed the substitution variable for Jan to December. I come to the variables tab. In this variable tabs comes substitution variable. In this I have changed the substitution variable value is Jan. And click on save. The record is saved successfully, and I have changed the period is 20 year dimension, and click on save. The record has been saved. In this, find out the substitution variable value changes or not. In this, before I have select the June, now I have select the Jan. So substitution variable value changed successfully. Before I have got this error, I have rectified this one and come to the data card. In this data card, you have find easy to find out the what are the values you changed in substitution variable. Before I have select the June, now I have select the Jan. This way you can changes the substitution variables in at one level and come to the presentation. In the presentation, I have done the use case 1 and use case 2. And coming to the next slide. In this slide, using the substitution variables in RTP. RTP means runtime prompt, runtime transfer, runtime prompts. It is basically using for a running the business rules like hardcoring or substitution variables or run TP, RTP. But the main purpose of RTP is user can view the see the what are the period he can run the business rules. The main purpose is used for RTP. And can we pass the substitution variable as a value in the prompt? Yes, I can pass the substitution variable as a value in prompt. And come to the next one. If yes, can the prompt value be limited only to the value assigned to the substitution variable? This is the answer my yes. I can assign the substitution variable for limited. I have enabled the RTP. So on this RTP, I can assign the limited for emphasis underscore what are the substitution variable you created that can be assigned in a limited tab. And then user requirement. How can we user select only the prompt value? Default to the value assigned is substitution value. In this, I have enabled that RTP, and in this RTP, I have default value is option is available. In this default value is assigned the emphasis. What are the substitution variable created? Then in this I have assigned, and that is comes with the default with the user requirement. Now I show you the how to create the runtime prompt in the business rules. I have go to the application. In the application, you go to the navigator. In the navigator, you have a create and manage. In this rules card. In this rules card, one pop-up in is comes. It is a EPM Cloud basic server. Now I am using expand the EPM Cloud. Under the you have what are the name of the application? My application name is FCCS underscore. In this rule set and console and rules. What are the rules by default? It comes. If you created any custom rules, you can see the custom rules. I have created custom rule 1 and custom rule 2, custom 3. These are the created manually. These are the comes with the prefix. FCC under comes with prefix. So these rules are created by default system. Now I have show you how to create the variable design. In the actions card, you have option called variable design. In the variable design, expand the EPM cloud. In the EPM cloud, there are options called global and FCCS application level under the console. If you creating a substitution variable at the time, you have selecting the globally means you have select the cube type is all cube, so you can create the runtime prompts in globally. So main purpose of substitution variable, it is a global level use. So now I show you how to create the globally, and click on the actions. In the action, I have a new option. In this I have option, I have provide the name. What are the provide the name for global variables? I have provide the name for RTP underscore month. In this after you have provide the type depending on your business process, you can select the numeric or integer, string or crash dimension. The main purpose of crash dimension is pointing the one or more dimension. And come to the without dimension, you can select the dimension type. If you want to members now, as per our use cases, I have select the member for the particular variable design. After that, you have provide the dimension type and limits and default values and RTP text. If you enable the RTP text, the limit, what are the limits user can be view. So this option is enabled. Now I have select the year period dimension because of I have created the global variable for the monthly. After that I have provide the default value. What are the value if you provide, like I have created early emphasis a underscore month. If you enable the RTP, so limits are available. This option in this I have enter the limits. What are the user can be see the only particular substitution variables. As per our use cases, I have selecting for June is the by default for substitution variable for period. I have assigned the substitution variable in limits for like this way emphasis a underscore month. After you have provide the any text like please enter period data like depending on your convenience you can display in the type of text. After that you have option to save the particular variable designers. I have created a monthly for RTP underscore month. Now I have creating for a year type means globally. I have option called action. In the action I have created the new variable. In this name I have provided the name for RTP underscore year. And then you have provide the types depending on our business rules you can select. Now I have select the member. After that you have provide selecting the year dimension. I have run the variables in year, so I have select the year dimension in this. After that I have providing the enable the RTP. So you have in this I have provided the limits. User can be use the only particular type of year emphasis a underscore year. And default, what are the default? If you assign the default value, it comes with default. Otherwise, if you do not assign the any value in default, so it is default with what are the members comes with default. That member is displayed in the business rules. I have assigned the default value like this way emphasis a underscore year. Because of I have creating the variables in dimension type, so I have select the a underscore year. I have earlier creating for substitution variable, so I have select the default value. After that, please in the RTP text, please enter enter year data like depending on your convenience. After that, you have save the variable's name. Already exit. I have changed to the variable name is one and click on save. The variable saved successfully and then come to the presentation. In this slide, I have done the can we pass the substitution variables and how can we use the select the other prompts value. In this default, I have show me the default value assigning and providing the limited by the users providing the emphasis underscore. And coming to the next slide. In this next slide, we have can we using for a substitution variables in business rules. In the business rule, here can you show me how to the pass the substitution variables in business rule and which of the following is design is recommended in hard coding June in BR and using the substitution variable created per month and using the RTP created per month with the substitution variable as per your requirement. Basically, I have recommended but is RTP created per month. This is main purpose is user can use the which can run the business rule for which period and which year you can easy to grab the business rule and you can easy to launch the business rule. if you select the using the substitution variables, this one is recommended. So user does not identify the which period and which year you can do the business rule. So you can select the by default what are the provide the substitution variable. It comes, you can select that one only. After that you can launch the business rule. That is only. If you select the hard code in June in a BR code, if you select the hard code means you can select in the members manually. Every time comes to in business rules, you can change the particular period, and it is a lengthy process. So I did not recommend the hard coding for June. And can we now I have shown me the how to pass the substitution variables in business rule, and go to the application. I have show you how to pass the substitution variables in business rules. In the smart system view, in the system you have option expanding the EPM cloud under the this is the application name, it is the rule set under the console. These are the default rules. If you want, you can create the action, right click. If then you have create the new object, so you can create a business rules. So in this you have select the application type. By default I have working in EPM cloud base, so I have default come to EPM cloud, and this is the application name for creating the while creating the business rule, business application, and select the cube particular cube console. Basically every one is running the rules in a console depending on your script based and rules based you can create in the selecting the cube. In this I have select the rule set templates rule script formula. I have select the rule. After that I have provide the name of the custom rule, like a rule name. I have provided the name for test underscore rule, and click on save. The rule is successfully created. It is asking for a test rule is created. If you want any edit or if you have created any substitution variables assign the particular user particular rule set, you can edit that. Click on OK. So one pop-up window is comes. In this you have provide the scripting. What are the substitution variables you have created? In this substitution variables like this way, you can write the scripting fix. In this you have provide the now I have show me the three types of substitution variables assigned in the business rules. First one is a hard code, and second one is the substitution variables assigned to business rule. Third one is the RTP. By using RTP to run the creating the business rules. Now I have show to hard coding for a business rule, scripting writing, picks up this in as per our use case presentation. I have hard code is selecting for June. I have selected the June. Hello. After that end fix. This way you can enter the hard code for a manual entry for a business rule. After that we have provide the this way we can write the scripting for a substitution variables assigned to the business rule. Fix up. Fix up. So what are the substitution variables created earlier? I have assigned that substitution variables like this way: emphasis a underscore year. This is the year basic year undefined, and then I have defined the period like this way: emphasis a underscore period. After that, you have click on end. You can end in the scripting. This way you can write the scripting for a substitution variables assigned to the business rules in substitution variable. Now write the scripting for a RTP based scripting for a run. Show me the business rules. Fix up. Open parenthesis. You have earlier creating for a substitution variables for designer. So in this you have assigned the like RTP underscore current year or RTP underscore month or RTP underscore test. I have assigned that to particular variables. Now I have assigned the variables for TP underscore month, comma, P RTP underscore year, year one. You can write the scripting for a hardcore and substitution variables assigned and RTP based for substitution variables assigned to the business rule. And coming to the presentation, I have write the scripting for hard coding for Juna in the business rules and using the substitution variables created per month and using for the RTP created per month with substitution variable. As per our requirement, I can show me the pass the substitution variable business rules. After that, you have go to the application. In this application, you have click on save. So, so in this rule has been successfully changed. After that, rules is successfully changed. If go to in then you have go to the application. In this check the what are the parameters and limits are created earlier in RTP and come to the navigator. In the navigator in this rules card I have created earlier in custom rule one. So in this you have choose the please enter the period data, please enter the year. So user can be view the what are the define the particular limits. So user can be select the particular period by default comes with. You can run the business rule like you can select the all the parameters for consolidation and current entity and period scenario and year. After that click on run. So this way you can create the custom rules and run the business rules this way. And coming to the presentation, and next slide, go to the next slide. The smart use. Smart use is the main purpose is using for analyzing for data and entering the data through the Excel sheet. In these substitution variables are using for a smart view, using for substitution, how to generating the report for a ADAC by using the ADAC analysis. Come to, can you show me how to insert the substitution variable in report created using the ADAC analysis tip? For ADAC analysis, use the same design of the data form as per use case. In this slide code, I have created the data form for I have selected the account dimension is the row and the year and period dimension in the column. And I have also creating the another column is year and period dimension. In this column, I have specify the see what are the substitution variable created earlier. I can assign that. Now I have show you how to analysis the ADAC analysis using to data can be reporting for a substitution variables. I have logged into the Excel through SmartView. In this Excel sheet, I have select the new blank sheet. After that, you have go to the SmartView. In this SmartView, you have a panel. In this, there are two type of connection. One is the private connection. Second one is the shared connection. Shared connection means in this it does not change any particular URL or a particular depending on your if you want to working on the cloud task manager, just you can enter the link and then connect to the what EPM cloud and then perform the submit or approve like way. Now I have connection with shared connection. In this shared connection, I have provide the credentials for a EPM cloud application. Now I have entered the credentials for EPM login like EPM underscore default underscore cloud underscore admin and then I have provide the password like EPM Yes. After that, click on Globe. So successfully connect with SmartView in Excel through EPM Cloud. In this, select the EPM Cloud and expanding the URL and expanding this is the application name. You can enable the some of the extensions in SmartView. You can analyzing you can creating the dimension members as well. I have expanding the library. I have created earlier substitution variable in data forms. I can add, I can select the ADAC analysis to generate the report by using a substitution variable. Now I have moving to the point of view is the taskbar. In this in this smart view, you can there are options called data zoom in, zoom out, pivot, and if you want to change pivot, zoom in means if you want only you can see the level 0 members or bottom up members, you can using for a zoom in option. In this select level, all level, bottom level, depending on your business rules, you can enter the data in the bottom levels. You can select the bottom level. It can be display the only bottom levels like that. Like if you want pivot, come to the pivot table. Pivot table means you have two options. One is the pivot. Pivot means you can change in the grid properties like column to row or row to columns. And pivot to point means I have selected the account is the column. So now I have moving to the account dimension. Moving to the account dimension is moving to the point of view, and this now I can select the point of view pivot to point of view. So automatically account dimension is going to the point of this way. If you keep on, if you want to working on a particular member in dimension, so you have select and keep only. So displays only particular member and a particular data displayed like way. These are the options for a smart view. Now I can smart view is using for a substitutional and generating the report. Now I have before I have entered the data for a particular day. Now earlier I have a substitution variable changing for a June to Jan. Now change the substitution variable for earlier Jan to June and go to the application. In this application I have changed the substitution variables. In this navigator and go to the tools cluster under the variables. In these variables I have provide the changing the substitution variable name. In this substitution variable name is a Jan and now I have changed to June. Then I have changed the period is year is FY20, okay, and click on save. The record substitution value is changed successfully. In this, you can choose the see the value is changed or not. The value is successfully changed, and go to the smart view and click on refresh. This like this way you can assign the substitution variables in smart view like emphasis a year emphasis a underscore period and click on refresh. I have changed the substitution variable name is jar2. Now I have changed the form is form type. Can remove the substitution variable for a period and year dimension and go to the layout. This layout I have delete the first row, delete column and click on save. The form grid says save successfully and click on finish. After you come to the smart view and click on refresh. The substitution variable is changed successfully. After I can change the substitution variable value. And then I have changed the substitution, assign the substitution variable for period. A underscore period and click refresh. The substitution variable is changed successfully. In this, there is no data. So, so form can be the data only. In this, you can select hard code to use it to. I can select the members in substitution variables and come to the presentation. I have done the this use cases for a through smart view for using a substitution variable, and this is ending for a substitution variable, and come to the final sheet for the GPT presentation. Now in this summary for in this substitution variable in this topic, it to conclusion show with the use cases for a substitution variables for following articles data through data pumps to assign the substitution variables and use the substitution variable to enter the data and run the in runtime prompts. I can enter the create the variables in runtime prompt, and I can pass the variables through business rules, and in the smart view I can analyze the data through I can generate the reports by using the substitution variables. That's
Hello.